Today, I'm talking to a Grammy-nominated multi-platinum producer who has songs with Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Chris Brown, Pooh Shiesty, and many more. He's gonna be walking us through how he gets major placements, and he's even gonna break down his hit song with Lil Durk, Hanging with Wolves. All right, we're here with my boy Nile Waves.
Yo, what's good, Kavi?
How did you get into making beats, and how long have you been doing it?
If I'm being completely 100% honest, I started making beats when I was probably 7. My dad, he used to make songs for our family, for fun. So one day I saw him making it, and I was like, yo, how did you make that? I'm trying to figure out how to make that beat. And it was this software called Mixcraft. I used to play around on Mixcraft, and it wasn't until probably middle school that I was looking for it again. And I was like, damn, what was that software that I used to use back then? Because I'm trying to make beats again. That's when I stumbled upon FL, and I was like, oh, this is way better than that. So I'm gonna start using FL.
You've been meant for this shit. You've been doing it for fucking since you were 7. How long did it take you to make your first dollar from music? Your first beat sell?
Maybe sophomore or junior year of high school. I was just posting my beats on Instagram. I put a little picture behind it and just post it on Instagram, put some hashtags under it, see what it would do. I'll never forget the first song, that I heard somebody rapping on my beat, and he ended up paying for the beat. I think it was $20 or $15 or something like that. But I was so excited. I was so happy. I was like, yo, finally I hear somebody on my music.
So how'd you get your first major placement?
I used to remake instrumentals. So I used to do that to try to bring attention to my YouTube page. One of the instrumentals that I remade was a Playboi Carti song, and eventually Asian Doll, she used it and she hopped on it, had my tag in it, and all my friends in high school was like, yo, she used your beat. Now at that time I wasn't that excited about it because I was like, it's just an instrumental, it's not really my beat. What ended up happening was I just DM'd her. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just DM her and tell her yo, it's my beat, and I'm trying to send you some more stuff, some of my original stuff. And she answered, and eventually I ended up sending her some of my original beats, and she ended up using them. First time I got paid over $1,000 for a beat, I was like, that's when I was really lit. Yo, I just got paid over $1,000 for a beat. Okay.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone getting an opportunity through doing remakes on YouTube.
It's if I didn't DM her and I didn't ask her, if I didn't shoot my shot, it would never happen.
Yeah, a lot of these things are what can you make of it? Someone could put you in the right position, but if you don't do the right things or put yourself out there, it just,
right.
It doesn't click,
Exactly.
Did you always know you were gonna make it big with music?
When I first started, like I said, I was just doing it for fun. I was just doing it just to do it. But around 2020, that pandemic time, I was like, yo, I gotta focus. I have to really put my all into this. I sold my PS4, no gaming. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I'm gonna dedicate every waking hour to this. I'm going to make it work. So it wasn't a question of, is this gonna work for me? It was, I'm going to make it work. It's gonna happen. When I come out of this, I'm gonna be way better. I'm gonna have some plaques, I'm gonna have some placements, and that's what happened.
You're working with the biggest artists in the game right now, Lil Baby, Lil Durk. All that shit is crazy. So can we get in and break down, honestly, one of my favorite songs from you, the Hanging with Wolves by Lil Durk?
Oh yeah, definitely. This is Hanging with Wolves, the melody to it by Lil Durk. Piano melody is real simple. It's the same thing. It plays over and over and over again. The only thing that has some variation is this right here. Pad was kind of following the piano melody in a sense. Same thing, like I said. The thing about that repetition is that it could create a vibe, put somebody in a trance almost. One of my most simple melodies I ever made.
Do simple loops get placed more often?
Always. I'll say it's about simplicity, but it's not about how basic the melody is. It's about space. If the melody is simple and it has a lot of space, that's what you need.
Yeah. How do you make your loops more placement friendly?
When I'm making my melodies, a lot of the times, I'll cook up beats while I make my melodies. If something's messing up my flow, when I'm trying to flow on the beat, then I know, okay, I need to take that out. And when I play it by itself, it may sound a little empty to me, but that's because what's missing is somebody's voice. Somebody's voice is supposed to be in that empty space, not another instrument. To make it more placement friendly, what I do is I'll just take out sound.
So this isn't your first song with Lil Durk. You did Man of My Word with Lil Baby on Voice of the Heroes. Kind of tell me how that song came about.
That song came about as a result of me not letting my ego get in the way of working with somebody. So let me explain what I mean. There was a producer named iRock on the beat. I DM'd him around that time, 2018, 2019. I was like, yo, let's work. I got placements with some of the same people you got placements with. Like, I think we can make some crazy fire. And he just liked the message. And he never responded. Fast forward to like 2021, I seen a DM from him. He was like, yo, let's work. First thing came to mind was like, yo, you didn't answer me like 2 years ago. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just because he just didn't see the value in working with me back then. So I had to set, my pride aside and be like, you know what? I'm gonna gonna send him stuff because this is somebody I want to work with anyway. Sent him like probably over 50 something loops. And then out of nowhere one day he would just send me like Durk with prayer hands. And I was like, you need something for Durk? You need me to make some melodies for Durk? That was my response. He's like, nah, we got us one. I was like, oh, okay, that's fire. So a few weeks later, I had seen a snippet and it was like Lil Baby and Lil Durk and they were shooting the Man of My Word video. I didn't know it was that video at the time, but I heard the melody in the back and I was like, yo, this is my melody. Somebody sent it to me and it was like, yo, this sounds like your sound. And so I was listening to it. I was like, yo, this is.
What was it like hearing Lil Baby and Lil Durk on your beat for the first time?
That was probably like one of the top, like highest moments in my music career so far. Up until that point, everybody knows like that Lil Baby placement. I was really grinding for that. When it finally happened, it felt like I accomplished something because I was working towards it for so long.
How big of an impact did those Lil Baby type loop kits that you used to post have on your career?
Monumental. If I didn't start doing that, I probably wouldn't be at the point that I am right now. I started off doing it because I couldn't find the sounds that I was looking for. Like if I was to produce for Lil Baby, if I could just send beats to Lil Baby right now, I'm gonna make the beats the way I want to make them, you know, if I could send it to him right now. So that's just what I started doing. They were my style, but I would brand them as Lil Baby 4PF loop kits because that's like what I was going for. And I wanted to bring attention to me and my brand. Once I started doing that, man, I got so much attention just because there was a lot of other people looking for the same thing. On top of that, there was nobody really doing it at that time, especially not on a consistent basis. Like I was doing it. I was dropping a loop kit every week. That really accelerated things for me because it brought me a lot of connections. It brought me a lot of people to work with. That's when I really started getting a lot of placements. You know, people were using the melodies like all the time. My loop kits are the reason why I have placements like Pooh Shiesty, Rilo, Durk. Like loop kits were probably the #1 thing that shifted everything.
It's crazy how something that can start so small, it's just like building blocks. Eventually it builds up to something crazy. So this is a question I love to ask. If you had to start from zero today, you lost all your connections, everything, what would be your step-by-step plan to get your first major placement?
Yeah, this is the classic KXVI question. #1, I would definitely hone in on my melody making skills. And I think Hayes said it best, man. Connecting with the people that are around you, like on your level and slightly above, and climb the ladder. That's really how you do it. But I'll add something to that. What you can also do is you want to put your work out. If you have a loop kit or something, right now we're in a place where like the loop kit market is flooded. If you just new coming into it, you're not gonna make that much money selling loop kits. Like with no name, no background, nobody knows who you are. So you can sacrifice the money for exposure by putting your loop kits out for free, letting people see, okay, this is my sound, this is what I got. You never know who will stumble upon you. Put your work out there so that other people can start coming to you. Because at the end of the day, that's what you really want. You want people to come to you and be like, yo, I want to work with you. You know, when people start to see your work output, it's like, it's different. Although I do credit the loop kits to giving me that exposure. A lot of my work with Slam Life Shawty really brought me a lot of like bigger producer attention, because these were like artists that other bigger producers were trying to lock in with because, you know, they're upcoming, and then they see like, oh, Nile Waves on like every single track, or Nile Waves, they hear my tag on like his biggest song. So it's like, yo, who's this guy? Like, I'm gonna lock in with him. He's one of the new upcoming producers. Me and 3L the God, we were like Slam Life Shawty's main producers. We'd be sending him stuff all the time. If you could find you another producer to lock in with, and then with that producer you lock in with an artist that's upcoming, they got some buzz, that's really gonna make people respect you and respect what you're doing, because you're really putting in the work and you're putting out good music. You're not just going at people that are bigger than you trying to, you know, ride off their clout or ride off their wave. You're creating your own wave for yourself.
I think it's so underrated. Like everyone's always looking for secret something to like get these placements or start making money on beats, but like especially for networking, all of the biggest people that I work with now hit me up first. They found me from me doing my shit, and they fucked with it, and then they hit me up. So I think that's super underrated. I feel like people try to start making money right away, but like you said, if you could sacrifice the immediate like making money, you could grow it bigger, and then when you actually cash out, you can make a bigger amount of money than if you were just worried about nickel and diamond.
Yeah.
Do you have a go-to DM whenever you hit up people that you want to work with?
Me personally, a lot of the times, like if I DM somebody, like it's because they showed love to me on one of my posts or something. But like just like cold DM, I might just say let's work. I don't think there's any like secret DM message, you know, that has a 90% open rate. You know what I'm saying? So for example, like I had reposted the Producer Grind interview with Timbaland. He had ended up following me after I reposted it. And so I DM'd him like, yo, this is legendary. Like, can we lock in? I got some stuff for you. And he gave me his email. There's been situations like that with other producers too. TM, he had put a fire emoji under my Grammy nomination when I posted my Grammy nomination. And I was like, yo, this is wild. Like, 'cause that's TM is like my favorite producer ever. I DM'd him. I was like, yo, I appreciate the love. I'm trying to work. And he sent me his email. So like, yeah, it happens like that. That's another reason you got to keep like your stuff on the internet like tight.
What are some mistakes that you see small smaller producers make when they're trying to get placements.
Focusing on the placements before focusing on how good their sound is. You shouldn't be focused on placements right now. You should be focused on getting your music tight. Another mistake I see, they'll manufacture beats to sound like everything that's out right now in order to get the placement. Do something different that you can still hear them on. So I think those is like top 2 biggest mistakes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with those. Not gonna lie, man, you got me hyped with that Hanging with Wolves breakdown. Would you be down to cook up some collabs, man?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. All right, so I started off with this piano right here.
Before I go in and flip this starter, all the sounds that I'm going to be using are from my Dark Nights multi-kit. It's got 350 loops, midis, live instruments, vocal chops, one-shots, presets, and much, much more. The link for that is in the description, so make sure you check that out. That's fire, but today I'm kind of feeling dark vibes instead of melodic, so I think I'm going to just try to chop this up a bit. Maybe this chord right here. I could do something with that. Add some effects and pitch it up. Oh. That's fire. I'm gonna grab this bass from the Dark Nights Analog Lab Bank just to thicken it up a bit. Now I'm gonna go to the Dark Nights kit and grab a vocal. Oh, I love that one. Let's try that. Oh, that's hard. Let's add a couple more sounds though. Yeah, that's fire. Yo, so I got a crazy idea. I'm gonna grab this synth brass preset from the Dark Nights Analog Lab Bank. And this is what that sounds like. Oh, that's nasty. Alright, I'm gonna just start with a snare. I was tracking a hi-hat MIDI. Grab this open hat. Oh, that's hard, but I kind of want to add some switch ups to give it some more variation. So, all right, first thing I'm gonna do is just half speed that piano for a second section. Ooh, now I could do that to the vocal too. Oh, that's fire. I'm hearing like a pad with it. That was kind of hard. Alright, then this is our finished beat. If you want to learn about how 5 platinum producers would go about getting major placements, click this video right here.